hundreds of dollars. Whoa.
Look at this.
Oh my God, the Total Recall. Oh, that's awesome. And the Thing. Wow.
And then
wow, look at this.
From
Script from Kenny Among Us. We got the Total Recall script. That's good. I mean, we've got to do an episode of that. And then, X-Men, X-Force. Oh my God, Cable. It's a Cable action figure.
This is just some of the video. You can have this sticker.
Idiots.
And then,
then the letter. The Thing script. He's California based.
Yeah, he's right in LA.
Wherever it is that you like register your screenplays, he went there and just ran off copies of those. That's great. This is great stuff. This one right here, this might make me cry because this is like I think of Ed with it. Like it's hard for me to even look at X-Men comics or something.
This is for Tom. So.
Yeah. Did he send this like after the Ed news?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because this is like this Cable in particular makes me think of Ed because that's like his era. Like when Cable was created, that's his era. This would have been like his favorite character probably at some point. At a certain point in his life.
And the Total Recall shows we're all about joy and like
for
fun
sure,
and just
keeping it up and peppy and no, this is great.
It's
stuff.
it brings a lot of joy, and I hope it brings a lot of joy to other people too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and we get that. Like we get that from like the letter, like the texts or the emails or whatever that the messages we receive.
In our PO box.
People definitely have told us like the way it like lifts them up and stuff.
Puts fun out in the world and just want to say on camera I love doing the show with you.
Yeah, I love doing the show with you too. It's good. It's good times, and this is just what I need and stuff. Yeah, Roadhouse. Executive producer of Roadhouse, Steve Perry. That's not like the guy from Journey, is it?
They're like, we never heard him. We never saw him on set. We only heard the voice. They're like. It was funny,
produced by Joel Silver. Of course, this is a Joel Silver production. Anything that asses in seats. He's the asses in seats guy.
And there's a new Roadhouse, but this is the purest, most beautiful. My Uncle Joe would watch this all the time. He would. This would be on Fox 53. He would just every time I saw him,
with the curses bleeped out. For a while, instead of bleeping, it's just the sound would drop out for a second. That became a big thing for a while.
I love a good TV edit too.
Yeah,
they're yippee-ki-yay, melon farmer.
Well, I mean, it wasn't it was probably by the late 80s or early 90s that they started just making a TV cut where they'd okay, we're going to just film this scene real quick. So it wasn't weird or stilted, a dub. It was just perfectly integrated into the movie. And the first time I started seeing that, I was kind of whoa, how'd they do that? It might have even been Ghostbusters or something. Because it's that line in Ghostbusters where he's yes, it's true, this man has no dick. And then on TV, it was yes, this man is some sort of rodent, which kind, I'm not sure.
It's so funny that you remember that one, too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dean Cundy is the guy he shot Halloween and Jurassic Park and Roadhouse, so he's the cinematographer on this one. And
that guy at the bar looks like John Hader, Napoleon Dynamite. I wonder if that's his dad or something.
All these tater tots are falling out of his pants. Look, it's Terry Funk, the wrestler. Funk you.
Have you seen the new Roadhouse yet?
I did.
Jake Gyllenhaal? Okay. I haven't seen it. I mean, maybe save your review for a separate episode. Or not. Yeah. What did you think of it?
It's a good standalone thing. I wish it was
as far as being
in the road. If they had just called it anything but Roadhouse, I think it was just
that sometimes works against it. And I know I was watching the Albert Brooks documentary and or maybe it was when he was being interviewed about the documentary, but he was saying there was some movie he did. And then it was just a comedy and they were just going to call it whatever. And then somebody in the studio was oh, we have the rights to the in-laws. I'm thinking it was the in-laws. Maybe it was something else, but we have the rights to the in-laws. So we're thinking of maybe calling it the in-laws. And he was please don't do that. Please, they are gonna bury us for that. And it happened exactly the way he predicted. Like it was called the In-Law, and then like the reviewers like, this is no In-Law. Where if they would have just put it out as like a new comedy,
thing,
as its own thing, people would have been fine with it. So I can see how that works.
For a great, he turns into a great for a great fuck call 555-7617. He changes it to for a great Buick. I kind of want this as like a screen grab.
Yeah.
In the new one, Jake Gyllenhaal, I love Jake Gyllenhaal. He's like yoked out of his mind. He's huge in that. He must have been working out all.
You know, it's funny. Like we were kids the first time we saw Roadhouse. So, you know, Patrick Swayze seems like he's like 10 feet tall and like 5 feet wide, or like he's just this like giant. And so then Jake Gyllenhaal, it's like, isn't he a little scrawny to be, you know, in Roadhouse?
Yeah, you're like, be on the lookout for a 4'11" guy with a Mel Gibson haircut. They're like, the funny thing is, it's just like he's, you know, a known like a cooler. He's like internationally known. They're like, get Dalton, and everyone's always like, I thought you'd be bigger. So he's like, there's like a legend surrounding him. And Jeff Healey, rest in peace. He's the blues guy here, and he does the end credit song too. But he plays the guitar in a cool way, like on his lap, really interesting. And you know, the whole band's protected by that chicken wire fence there. But the stunt work in this is just like old school like stage fighting, like so much like brawling, and all the bad guys are like dialed to like 100. Like,
yeah, and of course Bigfoot is in this.
Bigfoot is in this. Like we were saying, Bigfoot's agent.
Yeah,
it was like
Bigfoot's agent was playing hardball.
Hardball in the 80s. Like, and that guy right there, he's Napoleon Dynamite's dad. He's in this punk band called X. I think it's like naming the band's like John Doe or something. Just drinking black coffee. They play that gag in the other one. Yeah, like everyone's like greasy and like
right. Yeah, a lot of light coming off. A
lot of mucking. Yeah. Like this, they're like, who is this Lon Chaney Jr.? Yeah, the man of six faces.
You think of like this movie, like, you know, they don't make I mean, they just made a new Roadhouse, but at the same time, they don't make movies like this anymore because it's kind of like, you know, like, okay, when's the superheroes show up? Where's the CGI? What's like the big hook? But like the big hook is just like, okay, there's a lot of crazy people in this bar doing a lot of crazy stuff.
And in the newer one, like Jake Gyllenhaal's like a UFC champion, where it's like, there's fucking Dalton. What's his deal? Like, why is he this badass? And then look at this, like, this is some old school, like,
the bar fight. I mean, this fighting. Is, you know, it is kind of like, by the time this movie came out, the bar fight was a little stale. Like, it was kind of like a clean, you know, because, you know, you watch those, like, old Burt Reynolds movies, and it's like, this is like primetime bar fight, 70s kind of stuff, and you know, and but by this point, it's like you recognize the cliche. You'd seen it enough times.
Yeah, like I miss this. Like some sugar glass bottles you can like crack on people's head, using their trays as a shield.
Like when you were a kid,
a gorilla press slam.
When you were a kid, didn't you think this was just what being a grown up was going to be? That you go to a bar, a huge fight would break out where every single person, like the saxophone player, is hitting somebody on the head. You know.
One of my bucket list items is to be like thrown onto a bar and like slid across it. or like, see, I know stuntman. That guy that just ducked was a goon in Predator 2.
Okay. Yeah, and Swayze is like the calm in the storm. The calm at the eye of the storm.
Look, another gorilla press slam by Terry Funk. Terry Funk is like...
He's got one move.
He puts someone in this... Look, he's just going off. Also, Keith David is in this. His role had to be edited out, but he's in the background.
So you see like the remnant of the lost plot. I guess like they kind of probably filmed like the big fight on like the last day of shooting, because it's like you film all the scenes, and then you destroy the place. Yeah,
you don't want Swayze to break both of his arms on day one of shooting.
And the hair, Swayze's hair is a special effect, you know.
It really is.
The guy who built the Batmobile, like the '60s Batmobile show or the 1989 movie. It's like the hair is like the equivalent of that. It's like, okay, we got a team together. We put this hair together. And...
Swayze's hair is insured by Lords of London or Lloyd's of London. He knows that from his cooling experiences that whatever car he drives gets destroyed by the clientele, so he gets this like shit kicker.
You gotta love like a used car salesman. Roadhouse came out in what, like 87 or something?
I think like 89.
89. Like it feels like a 70s movie, but then it's got the gloss of the 80s. It's like an 80s sheen put on a 70s movie. This had to be like a leftover script from like Burt Reynolds.
Oh yeah,
like they wanted Burt Reynolds in it, but it's 10 years later.
Too late. Yeah, it's probably like circulating through Hollywood forever. Yeah, Brad Wesley, he's the bastard that wants to he says he brought J.C. Penney's to town. Ask anybody. And like he's so bad he drives on the wrong side of the road. And Swayze he gets an apartment at this farmer's barn. So he's staying in the loft of the barn, like his bed's like right next to a bunch of hay bales. The one bartender, she brings him like an egg sandwich, and he gets out of bed. He's like sleeping in the buff, and he puts his jeans on with no underwear under it.
Yeah, that's
they edit the thing where he zips the pants of
It's like something about Mary. He got the Franks up the Frank below the bean
because he's facing away from the camera. He goes yo 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 wow, or like
get the sound effect from Wonderbug.
Bar method. He's like
his PowerPoint presentation before there's PowerPoint. He has these like giant pieces of paper hanging.
He fires all of the the guy skimming from the till and like selling drugs at the bar. Like
this is like a reality show. This is one of those like Bar Rescue or something. It really is.
Dalton's Bar Rescue. He fires Funk.
Well, he's going to be missed. He might not be missed from the bar, but he's going to be missed as a presence in the movie.
He's giving Dalton a pleasant goodbye here.
Yeah, and like that's the thing. Like if you want to be a movie star, you got to learn how to like be perfectly still. Not be a mannequin, but like stand still, but
you're projecting on like intensity.
Yeah, an intensity going, and Swayze's got that.
Yeah. I want to get his wardrobe. He's wearing like a half turtleneck with some Z Cavaricci pants. He's kicking out these goons that will come back later for they're coming back for revenge later in the movie. New blueprints for the new sign for the Double Deuce. The bar is the Double Deuce.
They're changing the name to the Upper Decker or the Drop a Deuce.
He's like, we're gonna drop a deuce on the Double Deuce. It's like somebody.
There's Artie Lang, or Flounder from.
Yeah, it's Artie. They're like, the whole bar's out of Jack and water. Fire! A 21 gun salute! A fire! No shoes, no shirt, no problem. Yeah, look at these characters. I mean, they're just like, they're like.
Well, I'm just like...
Did all these guys come from Jim Henson's Creature Shop?
I'm just thinking, because a lot of these guys end up being in movies in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Some of them even today. So it's kind of funny seeing like the young version of all of them.
Yeah, Swayze's like, be nice. His whole thing is like, be nice until... it's time to not be nice. I think we might see some more action here. So, like, Wesley wants the bar... So he sends his goons to, like, cause trouble there to shut it down. But Swayze's, like, running interference here. Another employee that's...
This guy, he's the brawny man.
He's like, yep, we have to let you go. We need these 3 stockrooms, and they're full with triple-ply paper towels. And Dalton's thing is he drinks black coffee. That's another thing that pops up in the in the new one.
He drinks Frappuccino. Hey, we're gonna class this place up.
Come on, what are you doing? Now it's time to give him the nod, so we're gonna get some stunt fighting here.
I do like the way it's staged, because you would think that, like, Patrick Swayze's going to handle all this stuff, but it is smart to have him kind of like in the background, telling his guy, you know, just giving him little, and then when things get really out of control, then he steps in.
He like smashed that guy's head through a table. And it is sad. Like, we love stage fighting, practical effects. In that new Roadhouse, there's like CGI punches. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Jake Gyllenhaal climbs up a wall like Spider-Man.
Yeah, this guy's the bar owner, so he's like, his name is Dalton. So he says Dalton over the, he's like, that's my guy.
We got the Scorsese zooms, you know, like the color money or something.
She's got the
Yeah, that's some 80s stuff there. That's what sex looked like in the 80s.
Someone's like, I've been watching Roadhouse. I'm ready. Super watchable. You can like drop in on Roadhouse at any point.
That's what I was gonna say. You can just leave it on and then go do, you know, go.
It's amazing.
It's well paced. Also, like it definitely. You know, the third act or whatever. Amazing.
And it's directed, you know, we were talking about it's well crafted. Everyone's an expert on it. The director, Rowdy Harrington, also directed Pittsburgh Striking Distance with Bruce Willis.
Yeah, I like that movie.
This is the same director. So.
Striking Distance, there's all this like action on the Three Rivers in Pittsburgh.
Yes!
You know, with Sarah Jessica Parker.
And Robert Pastorelli.
Yeah, let's do that one. That is a good one.
The killer's called the Polish Hill Strangler. I think there's like a sandwich somewhere in Pittsburgh called the Polish Hill Strangler.
That's awesome.
So. At one point, somebody has a knife in their boot. Like,
yeah, there's Bigfoot. Yeah.
The funny thing was, they were trying to be like inconspicuous.
Right, yeah. Like, nobody will notice us. And then here's Bigfoot on top of, like, it's like they put extra large, like those are like even bigger than Bigfoot's regular. They're like, these tires aren't big enough. Let's get some.
They're like, you sure he didn't see you? They're like, no, boss, we've been real quiet right here. They're like,
rumbling down the road. They're driving around, and I want to see a movie. This is the movie they need to. Oh, the knives in the shoe technique. I remember that from like Inspector Clouseau. There's like an Inspector Clouseau where somebody has like knives in the shoe. And then I think there's also one where he goes to like an Oktoberfest, and there's like a woman in a dirndl, and then like blades shoot out. You know.
They didn't see us, boss. With him, they're in Bigfoot, and the guy runs in. He's like, "Holy shit, Bigfoot's in the parking lot!"
But you know, don't spoil it at all. I haven't seen the Jake Gyllenhaal version yet, but
it's worth a watch.
Instead of Bigfoot, how about the animal? Do you remember the animal?
Yeah, I love
truck?
The animal.
So like they're driving around and then claws come out of the wheels.
Yeah, it takes place in Florida. So they're driving down the highway and it's the Florida like Department of Transportation. It's chewing up the concrete like as it's driving. It's like it's a dusty fight scene right here.
And like with those Z Cavaricci pants, it does make me think of like Bruce Lee. Like they're kind of like the late 80s version of like the pants Bruce Lee used to wear.
There was a scene earlier. She's like the local doctor who treats Swayze. Like the hospital scene it was one of the most famous scenes. For some reason, I don't know if it was in he like has his medical records with him, but like I don't know if it's in his medical records or she has it. She's like he has his like college like diploma or syllabus like in it. She's like, you're a graduate with philosophy from NYU.
Right, he's
like,
deep.
Why?
He's got an ascot on, you know. He's a deep guy.
A thinker.
But he chooses this life because it's what interests him. Roadhouse has that Burt Reynolds movie feel to it. And those Burt Reynolds movies, they seem almost like they were designed for the TV version. Because it's like perfect, like, again, they're sort of episodic. You can like cut away for commercial and then come back and then there's like a new setup. And that's how this is. It's like it keeps resetting. It's like they made this, probably didn't know if it was going to be a hit or not, but knew, okay, this thing's going to be on TV. So let's make sure there's commercial breaks allotted.
Sam Elliott's character, Wade Garrett, hasn't popped up yet. He's like...
Well, we saw him like for a second. He was like on the phone.
Oh,
so he hasn't like shown up like in the place yet, but yeah, he was on the phone.
He's like Dalton's mentor. He's like... he calls Wade Garrett the best Kohler in the business.
Yeah, it's weird seeing Sam Elliott without a cowboy hat. You know, he's got like Tommy Wiseau hair. You know, he's got like a good head of hair on him in this.
He's part of nature.
Patrick Swayze he's like a Buddha. You know,
Yeah.
Also he's like he's like just part of like wherever he goes. He's just like part of it. He's not separate from it.
So he's going to the bad guy's mansion to try to like, he's calling Dalton in for a meeting. He has like this room with like big game, like all these like taxidermy creatures.
Well, this kind of stuff, like you would see it on The Simpsons. They'd have like the guy in like the white suit who like lives on the bayou, you know, and fan boats and stuff. And he's got like gators patrolling his estate.
This is
and the sets and everything. I need to watch the new one because I would love to compare and contrast. And like you said, it's like it's kind of unfair having a new movie called Roadhouse. Like it's never gonna
live up.
Like, what are you gonna do? Like how would you even do that?
He has all these windows wide open, and they bang in here, and like Brad Wesley's like right across the road, and also I think they're on the roof of his like porch. He gets like roofing nails in his ass and stuff.
It's like she's covering up for the window, but not for the camera.
I wouldn't sit down if I were you. I got roofing nails in my ass. He's like,
yeah, we got full butthole nudity. I know Patrick Swayze, like he had like leukemia or he had cancer.
I want to say he might have had throat cancer.
Throat cancer, yeah. I know, like he died, but I feel like he kind of like, you know, like even before that, kind of like went away. Like he kind of was what happened there?
I'm not sure. Like he had a small role in Donnie Darko. He was in another amazing action movie. We got to watch. I don't know if you saw Black Dog, the Trucker Swayze movie.
No.
Meatloaf is the villain. He plays the lizard in that.
Nice.
So like, it's got Swayze, Randy Travis, and Meatloaf. It's juicy.
Sounds like that's what happened to his career. You know, that sounds great, but I get the feeling that didn't set the box office on fire.
Swayze made the mistake. Yeah, Brad Wesley's watching them.
Right? Yeah, this is like his POV. There it is. Yeah. Yeah, on his like, what's he doing?
He's in a rocking
He's bobbing back and forth into frame.
This
Whoops.
They're like, let's put on a show for Wesley. He's got like a what's the telescope?
Yeah, I like the symbolism. I like the, you know, because it's like, okay, you know, he's got all this power, but he's kind of like, he's older, but then he's sort of there in his fortress, like all by himself. He's like the old king, and then across the lake is, you know, this young guy who's like fucking away, like he's virile, he's having sex, and then this guy's just kind of on a rocking chair, like the symbol of old age.
Yeah.
And then he's seeing all that, and what can he do? He can take a cigar and put it in his mouth. Like that's, you know, that's as far as things are going for him. Like the symbol is like, it's again really well thought out, you know. And you know, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, but not in this case.
Sorry, I've been out of work for a couple of days. I had to get all that roofing tar out of my ass.
You know, like when I was in college, we did all this, like, you know, these, you know, film criticism classes and stuff like that. Man, I would love, again, like, I feel like Roadhouse wasn't part of the canon by that point. Yeah. Certainly not like an academic canon, but I would love to, like, you know, be in a classroom setting and have Roadhouse be like the thing that we're gonna just take apart.
That would be working on the Roadhouse syllabus. Like if it was taught in college, driving school with Brad Wesley, like taxidermy, and like
the new Double Deuce is looking good, and it looks like they're trying to turn it into a family place. You know?
Yeah,
almost like a Red Robin or something.
It has the bottomless fries there.
Yeah.
These guys come to like destroy all the liquor that's being shipped in. And Wade Garrett shows up, and Terry Funk says, "Get lost, Dad." He calls him Dad.
Daddy-o. When Sam Elliott shows up, like, it's like, I kind of forgot that that's what Sam Elliott like used to look like, used to be. And I feel like he's probably my exact age in this. Like, I need to check because he shows up. He's got like just the same amount of like salt and pepper going on, and he's
But yeah,
But he's got like a badass. Like he seems like
he can handle himself.
Yeah, he can handle himself.
Like, look at what
like
a look.
The Silver Fox or something. Yeah, and a little bit Robert Mitchum.
Yes.
This like kind of like he's like rough around the edges. He's weathered, but he's still like
got it.
Yeah,
and it looks like he ran some Pennzoil through his hair. Like, this is where he shows up. And he's like,
"Hey, what's going on here?"
Well, he's like, "Back off." He calls
Call
him
me Dad. Yeah. Again,
he's like
I don't want
5 years younger.
Yeah.
He's like
Matt. He's
my
younger
age.
than you.
Oh my god!
He's
No,
like, you got a year on him. Love it.
Damn, that hurts, don't it? Look at the big punches. He's kicking ass here. Look at these like goons. He's like, take it to 13, not 11.
He punches the one guy in the nuts. Like, I remember Siskel and Ebert would do these like special theme episodes. And I feel like one of them was like movie cliches, like things we don't want to see in movies anymore. And one of them was like, we're tired of seeing people getting kicked in the nuts. Why?
I'm gonna come around and say I think there should be more nut kicking in movies.
Well,
and farting for that.
I feel like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid came out and they kicked that guy in the nuts, the sheriff or whatever. And people were like, whoa, like their eyes got real wide. They couldn't even believe it. And then for like the next 20 years, it's like, okay, we gotta have a nut kick somewhere.
Someone's like, wow, yeah.
Siskel and Ebert, like their argument, they were saying, now how would people feel if like the sexes were reversed? Like they were like real indignant about the nut kicking.
They keep like harping on that in like other episodes. They're like, it's like a Patch Adams episode. And it's like, why are you shoehorning that into this episode?
The upper decker. We gotta make our
triple deuce.
We gotta make our the double deuce. The two flusher. We gotta make our like parody, our Roadhouse like Mad Magazine parody. It is kind of interesting viewing this through the lens of like these bar improvement reality shows, because it is kind of like they made it into like it's a dive. It's like the definition of a dive. It's a dump. It's a toilet. That's the other thing. Have you listened to the Gabe Kaplan interview on the Gilbert Gottfried?
Not yet.
Okay, because obviously the Gilbert Gottfried podcast is all reruns and stuff. So I listened to it when it first came out, but I listened to it again. The Gabe Kaplan episode you cannot miss. But like Gabe Kaplan was one of those guys who he was like a real stand-up comedian. Like he did every kind of venue you could imagine, before Welcome Back, Kotter ever happened. And like Welcome Back, Kotter was like based on his stand-up. He would in his stand-up, he would talk about Arnold Horshack and like all those characters and stuff were like part of his stand-up. But he used to do stand-up at the club that Jack Ruby owned. Like that's how far back he goes. And he has great like Jack Ruby stories. And he's telling this story like it was like a strip club or whatever. Before he was Groucho, he would like dress up like Dracula, and he'd say, and he like had some joke in his act or something where he's like, the tits in this place are fantastic. Or like, usually I like to suck blood, but I like to suck on the tits of the dancers at this place. There's something like that. And then
Dracula's wild.
And then Jack Ruby called him into the office. And he said, what do you think this place is? You think I run a toilet? You think this place is a toilet? You think, what kind of place do you think this is? You think this place is a toilet? What do you think? And Gabe was like, no, it's a great club. It's a really nice club. That's right. It's a quality establishment. It's not a toilet. And so I don't want to hear that kind of language.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to go to I've got to go to the Texas police station.
Yeah, so that's his
hold my calls.
That's his big Jack Ruby story, like all the stuff we know about Jack Ruby, but Jack Ruby did not want you like saying tits on stage at his strip club.
You think this place is a toilet? Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got business to attend. It shows that famous shot. It's Gabe Kaplan dressed as Dracula. He's like
Lee Harvey Oswald.
He's like, now if you excuse me, you know what? I don't have time for this shit. Gabe, can you take something off my plate? I'll give you $50.
Oh, and there was another story on that podcast that I forgot, was that for that Groucho stage show that Gabe Kaplan would do, like Chico is part of it. He shows up throughout it, and they auditioned Gilbert Gottfried to play Chico.
That would have been incredible.
Yeah, that's interesting. Gilbert is like so famously underutilized because he was like on Saturday Night Live all these years, and he did eventually admit, because he was like terrible on Saturday Night Live, he didn't do anything, and he did later admit that anytime he'd come up with like a really good idea when he was at Saturday Night Live, he'd be like, oh, I'm just gonna save that for my act, like I'm not gonna waste it on this show, so then as a result nothing cool ever happened. But like, yeah, to have Gilbert utilize his Chico Marx imitation, that's what I loved about his episodes on Son of the Beach, because there's one of the episodes he turns into a vampire, and so he gets to finally like utilize his Bela Lugosi, like, and he's playing it so straight. Like, the show is so ridiculous, but he is doing like a straight Bela Lugosi as Dracula, like as much as possible, and it kind of like the comedy is kind of built like all around that, but he is like playing it so straight, and it does make you think like, yeah, what if like Gilbert's Dracula character is kind of like so famous on like the Howard Stern show and stuff, but what if Gilbert Gottfried really played Dracula in like a stage production of Dracula?
That would be
we read
awesome.
the play. It's such an amazing play. Like, just but the closest thing we have is him as a vampire in Son of the Beach. It's such a stupid show, but you can't help laughing. Like you laugh like at least 5 times an episode, even though it's like the dumbest, most ridiculous.
I was revisiting like on YouTube the Gabe Kaplan Groucho stuff,
so good.
and also I started watching Who's the Boss from the beginning.
Does Gabe Kaplan ever show up?
Doesn't show up, but Danza is what an icon in Who's the Boss. Like,
it's kind of cool, like that he's gone like completely gray, because then you get that he still has the same haircut. You get that classic Tony. But it's like, white. It's like,
I think I'm gonna grow my hair like he's got the fountain.
Tony Danza needs to play like a wizard in like one of these Tolkien movies, or maybe if they do like a Dungeons and Dragons sequel, he needs to play a wizard, or because Christopher Lee in Lord of the Rings kind of has a Danza going. He has a little bit of a Danza.
In one of them, Lord of the Rings, he's Gandalf, the red, white, and green. He's like
he's the Italian Gandalf. Yeah, the Gandolfini. He's Gandolfini.
The white, red, and green. He's got an Italian
flag for his outfit. We do still need and hopefully Disney or Lucasfilm or whatever saw our episode where we talked about it, but he needs to be part of the Star Wars universe, separate from that special where he talked
to the droids,
to R2-D2 and C-3PO. Like, there needs to be like a canonical Tony Danza character.
Yes.
And his name has to be Tony. Like, you can spell it however you want. It can be like T''ONI, TONNIIE or something, but you got to have him in the universe.
You do. It's like they already did the Anakin prequel. They should do
Tonikin.
It's like Luke as a little kid. It's like Danny Tamarella or whatever. But
Danzakin,
and he's the housekeeper of Aunt and Uncle Brew. He's like,
he's
like, whoa.
Anakin built C-3PO to be like kind of like help around the house, kind of be like the housekeeper. So like, what if it's Tony Danza, but he's a droid? So it's like, it's got like all his features, but he's like, he has to move like.
They're like, why does that droid a former MLB player? They're like, we don't even know what that is.
That slow motion slide, but he does it like to get through this like closing door on like the Death Star.
It's in the opening credits. Yeah. There's like lasers. He's like, and for some reason his land speeder is a blue rusted.
Yeah, the rusty blue land speeder.
That's amazing.
Oh, what a piece of junk! That's the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy.
He's doing his like solo training, and he's like, you gotta back. Wade Garrett is warning him to back off Brad Wesley before he gets in too deep. He's doing some training, a little rope climbing in the barn. Yeah,
I guess this would have been like, it would have been Burt Reynolds in the Patrick Swayze role, and then Robert Mitchum in the Sam Elliott role. This is an exceptionally long movie. Like, and this is in an era where movies weren't that long.
Yeah, this is like 2 hours here. This guy here, Swayze's legend is that he killed a guy by ripping his throat out. So this guy, Jimmy here, is Brad Wesley's henchman.
A nut punch. A casual nut punch. Like, usually, like in the 70s and 80s, they would like really sell the nut punch. It would like slow down and then, the slow reaction. But here was a
fly by nut.
Yeah.
The bad guys burned his barn down.
Yeah.
So look, they're having a fist fight. He pulls a gun, a little Saturday Night Special out of his.
He kind of looks like Scorpio from Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
When he pulls out that gun.
You remember the end of Dirty Harry? Dirty Harry immediately goes in and like applies for a job
at the mill. Yeah, at the sawmill. This is like that the eyeball pluck from Kill Bill or something, but it's the throat rip. I feel like I've heard Tarantino talk about this movie. I feel like this is like a New Beverly kind of
gotta be
Video Archives kind of movie.
He's like, I can't believe you saw me rip that guy's throat out. The bad guys got to Wade, and they pinned a note to his chest with a knife.
That's tough. I guess you're kind of like, your mentor has to like die in the story,
He's taking that knife. He's bringing it with him to
the Double Deuce kind of looks almost like a Howard Johnson. It's got. I haven't seen the Jake Gyllenhaal one, but how about like a Roadhouse sequel where like now the Double Deuce is almost like a TGI Fridays. There's like a million of them, and it's like, try our double-decker ice cream sundae. It's like a family place. But yeah, I want to see the sequel where it's like, okay, what happened with like all these guys, all this time later?
There's all these like arcade machines.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's almost a Chuck E. Cheese. Like, it's getting that much. Who wants all that taxidermy in their house? Like,
what a
enough
nightmare.
is enough. Yeah, like it's a bit much.
I think the lady doth protest too much. He's like,
well, yeah. I feel like, again, from sort of like a Freudian point of view or whatever. Like the bad guy, he's clearly impotent. He is impotent. He's and so it is like he has to have all these like horns and things all around. And he's
big foot. He's got big.
Yeah, he's kind of like punishing the world for his. He's so powerful yet so powerless.
Basically, like, Dawn kills him, and everybody in town is like saying they didn't see anything.
Yeah, this is like I Am Spartacus or something.
Yeah,
I don't see nothing. There's Ponch and John in the background.
They ride in. Yeah, you're right. That is Ponch and John.
Yeah.
They're just the stunt guys from Chips.
Right, they're the stand-ins from Chips.
And we have the finale. Like, Double Deuce is cleaned up.
Yeah, it's clean. It's kind of like a hip happening place. You can go in, have a good time. You don't have to worry about, things getting too crazy.
Now,
Dunkaroony.
I don't know if you saw it. So they're doing some skinny dipping.
Right, okay.
Now, I'm going to rewind it just a hair.
Yeah, of course you are.
I'm just going to rewind a hair here. Take a look who's on the shore. farmer buddy. He's like sitting right there, and
like, well, I guess maybe it's like the farmer actually never existed. He's just like a figment of Patrick Swayze's
he's like
imagination. Yeah, he's just so.
The farmer's like, always loved you, Dalton. Always have, always will. He's like, yeah. So there's Punch and John. He's like, hey, Punch, John, you have anything to add? We've got some California Highway Patrol officers here. Look who's right on the shore here. Swayze, and I believe his wife in real life.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, they just got a picnic going on. They're like, let's take our clothes off and go swimming. Okay, yeah, okay, I'll just hang back here and have a.
Don't mind me.
Don't mind if I do. Yeah, it would be great.
Don't mind if I do.
It'd be great if it was like Gabby Hayes playing that role, and then like his eye is like popping out.
Whoa, this is the most action. He's like, most action I've got in 40 years.
His hat blows up or something, or he's got a corncob pipe in and it starts spinning around.
Steam shoots out of his collar. Yeah, Gabby Hayes. He's like, she's like, are you sure you want to do this with your old farmer friend right there?
We don't want to give him a heart attack.
He's like, woo!
And then here's like the music video at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta do like all the 80s and early 90s like blockbusters, because it's like,
hell yeah,
I want to watch like this, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves,
God,
all
yes.
the, like one, bloated blockbuster after another.
Love it.
Like some Lethal Weapon sequels. And...
Oh my God, I'm excited about all that. I can't wait. This was a hit in theaters, but also
huge hit. Patrick Swayze just dominated. He was such a huge star. Like one movie after another, Dirty Dancing, and then it was like that. It was like his moment. And then it's just kind of like the nature of the industry, where it's kind of like, you're kind of like flavor of the month, and then somebody else comes along.
We had we got to do Point Break.
Point Break.
Oh my God.
We got to do Swayze Week or something.
Yes. Oh
the
my God.
Swayze verse. I've still never seen Dirty Dancing.
We got to do that one
because it had "dirty" in the title, so there was like no way when I was a kid that was ever gonna
My mom loved that movie, and we had the soundtrack.
See, I would be
soundtrack.
I'd be too embarrassed to even say the title in front of my mom. My wife, she when she was a kid, they went to the movies to see Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Nice, great pick.
And then she was talking on the phone with her grandmother, and her grandmother was like, "Oh, what movie did you go see?" And she said, "Don't Tell Mom the Babysitters." She didn't
leave off the dead.
Yeah, she didn't want to. She thought she didn't want to get upset grandma at all. And so it's like, "Oh, I'm going to see. What movie are you watching? Dancing."
Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's alive and well.
Yeah, and doing great. And, it was like a hit in theaters at a time when they weren't even thinking about VHS. That was kind of just found money or whatever. But it was they weren't even, that wasn't really on the radar of oh wait, you can have a movie make a ton of money selling tapes that did just all right in the theater.
I love a good VHS hit the Dark Man's VHS hit got all those sequels and stuff. I love when that happens.
It is, if Patrick Swayze had lived and then gotten to be in one of these Tarantino movies.
God, that would have been awesome.
Reclaim his, I guess it would have meant one less acting role for Kurt Russell or somebody.
Yeah.
Oh look, Waterworld. So that's what I'm talking about. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Get some Waterworld in the mix. Robin Hood is kind of cutting it a little close, but The Shadow is too much of a superhero movie. I want these movies that they don't make now. You know what I mean? I want Robin Hood's kind of on the brink of being a superhero movie, but it's just but The Shadow is too much of a superhero movie to count. I like these ones where it's
Waterworld.
Waterworld, Top Gun.
I'm pretty sure the Waterworld stunt spectacular might still be around.
It is, yeah,
like,
it's still huge. That's always so funny to me that like that, like I'm trying to think like what would be like an equivalent.
Like
thing.
some 13-year-old kid's like he's like, what the hell is this? Or like,
did you know they made a movie about the the Waterworld stunt spectacular? Another movie like that was later but kind of feels like it would fit in with this kind of stuff is Panic Room with Jodie Foster.
Oh yeah,
because that's like another one where it's like, hey, what's the concept of the movie? Like it's high concept without there being like a superhero or a spaceship or something.
Yeah. And it's a crowd please. It's like a popcorn, like...
Yeah, like everybody's seen it. And Passenger 57's another one we gotta do.
I still think about Snipes' outfit in that, like his turtleneck with blue button-up, like, and leather jacket, like... Like a good popcorn movie, but made, like, by, like, an auteur. Like, the Oceans series, Oceans 11, 12, and 13, like all Steven Soderbergh movies.
I need to revisit those because I've only seen the first one. I've only seen the first one, but I mean I've seen the first of the new Oceans, the Brad Pitt Oceans 11, and then I saw the Frank Sinatra Oceans 11, but I've never seen any of the sequels.
You gotta watch 12 and 13. Al Pacino's in the third one.
Yeah, like the crew keeps like the gang keeps getting bigger and bigger to the point where it's like they're gonna like invade a country or something. Like what else can we have? This crew's getting
they
too
all
large.
Jump out of an airplane.
Yeah,
like...
yeah. It becomes mega force eventually. We just got too much personnel.
It shows George Clooney on like that motorcycle.
Yeah, doing loops.
Dude, Ocean's 12, they go to Amsterdam. And Ocean's 13, they're taking on, it's a revenge job. Al Pacino's like this crooked casino owner. The only thing is, I don't want to spoil 13, but like the bad guy from the first one, Terry Benedict, he joins their crew in the third one.
You got to have that, like like they did that in Police Academy when Zed, joins up.
I tell you what, Tom, we're on the same wavelength. Cause I was thinking about that. We were recently watching the Police Academy movies, and when I was little, I saw them out of order. Where I saw Zed first. I was like shocked to my core when I saw when Zed was not in his life. Yeah. I was like, whoa.
I mean, I saw Police Academy, like the first Police Academy first. And then the rest of them, it was like anybody's guess what order I saw them in. But I definitely saw Zed as a recruit before I saw... And then it's like seeing like his first appearance where it's like, whoa, he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Because he was like the favorite,
I love Zed. He's like, G in the Mean Machine. Jojo man go. Blew a fart. Blew the whole damn thing apart. He's at like a poetry reading. I should put that in like my email signature or something. Like Zed's poem from Police Academy.
Waterworld, it is a shame there weren't like a whole series of Waterworld because it's like, famous for costing way too much, but being this like, Hollywood hubris kind of thing. But it's like, okay, it's not a bad start. Let's do a couple more of these. Let's see where it goes,
I remember, I didn't see...
Jake Gyllenhaal needs to make a new Waterworld, He remade Roadhouse. Jake, do,
I'm fucking all in. I love how his character's called the Mariner. Jake Gyllenhaal needs to take up the Mariner. He was Dalton, so now he can do the Mariner. Yeah. And, but he refuses to drink his own piss. Or no, he's like, he makes that a bigger plot point in the new one. They're like... this isn't in the script.
Oh, how about this where you got the Universal logo and then you watch the
cap smell. Yeah. I think about this like I thought about this when I was driving the other day.
That is pretty. It is pretty clever, and it's kind of like you think like, okay, Columbia, the like, how do you work her into your movie?
You're right.
Or the TriStar Pictures like Pegasus. Like
it like starts humping another horse or whatever.
Yeah, like how do you get that? How do you make that part of your movie?
Or it takes a big shit. Like the Columbia, she has the torch. She bends down and like snorts a big row with the torch. I always love when the logo does something interesting.
Mm-hmm. There's like a point in your life where you just watch a movie and you just kind of like, you're just watching the movie and you just kind of believe everything you see, and you don't even think about it as like artifice, as like something that like people made. But this movie, it was kind of like, I was like around that age where I'm starting to figure it out. And there's like a shot where the mariner is like going by, and then the moon is behind him, and the moon is massive. It's like huge, like you've never seen a moon this large in your life. And then it's like, you know, I start taking film classes, and then they're explaining how you do that, and it's like just you're far, like you got a guy on a boat and your camera is super far away from him, and then you zoom in. So now he's bigger, but then the moon is bigger too. And so the moon's like, man, so it looks like this. And it's like, oh, that's how they do that in movies. Like you're never going to be somewhere where like the moon is that big behind you.
I think, movie moon size. Mm-hmm. He doesn't process the
mm-hmm. Right, it's just straight. He's addicted to it. And he sells it. He sells his worth.
They're like, Mariner, we got a processor on this.
Silent running or something. Except instead of being on a spaceship, he's in
on
a
his little boat,
and he's got like little vegetation and stuff that can't really survive anywhere else.
Like this movie's awesome. I'm a big fan. Like the remember when this was the the standard bearer for a bomb?
Yeah, it's like Heaven's Gate, or was that what it's called?
Yeah, or Ishtar.
Ishtar, just because it's like Ishtar is like a funny sounding word. So Ishtar was it.
Yeah, Michael Cimino's Heaven's Gate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never seen Ishtar. I feel like I need to. We need to do an episode of Ishtar, because I do feel like a lot of these things, they do get like bad raps, and then or a lot of them, it's kind of like you get why there's real flaws, you get why it wasn't a hit or it was a bomb or whatever, but there's still like some really good stuff in there. That's how a lot of this stuff is.
Hoffman and Beatty and Ishtar.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do it.
How could it possibly go wrong? We should put some thought into like bombs that we love, or like movies that are universally reviled but we revere. Like that'll be interesting, because there are ones I need to give it some thought. But
we need to do our bomb, like a sub series covering our bomb.
I feel like they kind of adhered to the premise of this a little too much, because like part of what made it so expensive was like you could not see any kind of land anywhere in any shot, so they have to move the sets when they stuff like that. And it's like, you know what, I'm gonna give you permission to like violate your premise a little, like maybe it's the world is mostly covered with water, like it doesn't have to, like that. Maybe there's a couple tiny little outcroppings or stuff that are still like, it doesn't have to be complete, like if it's gonna break the bank, like just show us a couple,
or cause longer shoots. Like I read the Jaws log, and that was like the problem, like
because they had to make it look like they were in the middle
of the water. That would like, it would be so difficult to shoot that. Mm-hmm. If Costner isn't directing this, he's at the point here where he's like shadow directing the movie. Mm-hmm. Like the director's like, I have no control. Costner's like throwing his weight around.
Costner's busting my balls, busting my stones.
I'm like, what's wrong, man? He's like, fucking Costner. Dancing with my wolves.
Waterworld Stunt Spectacular is this like institution, but it's like there's so much promise in Waterworld, and like, if they like, I think they had like one or two video games, like there's maybe like an NES or like a Genesis game or whatever. Like, I could see, the Waterworld 4 video game being like amazing. Waterworld 4 for the PlayStation or something.
You're Dennis Hopper
piloting the Exxon Valdez. That was like such a like whoa. They thought that was gonna be like the Statue of Liberty at the end of Planet of the Apes. People were gonna be like, whoa.
It didn't play very well at the movie theater in Prince William Sound.
Yeah.
It didn't go over very well. Yeah. They're like, we get the AMC 6 at Prince William Sound. They're like, up in. Somebody's like flicks off.
They like changed. They made a special print just for that theater.
Yeah, they're like, this didn't play well up in Alaska.
Limes, like it's kind of like, oh, why is he growing limes? You know, what's the point of that? But it's like it is good to sort of sell the joke where like when the guy's taunting him from far away, it's like you can read the limes as limes from far, like that green really pops. Yeah, this James Bond sail setup. Yep.
And the color scheme of whatever this is like everywhere. So there's not much
this is kind of like the beginning of that like blah aesthetic that like most movies have now, where it's just like, okay, it's like, the hip cool thing is to just drain the color, make everything completely neutral, but then you have this nice blue of the ocean everywhere.
And his catamaran.
His Hatamaran. We never got to finish our Lidsville episode. His Hatamaran.
Yeah, damn, that's a huge boat. Like, no wonder this. All the money. Costner's contract said he got to keep this catamaran after filming. And
the lime tree.
What is that? Isn't it called like the World or the something Cup? It's like that catamaran like race.
Yeah.
America's Cup, and it's like on TV, and then Costner, like his catamaran from this movie, shows up in the race.
Yeah, he's wearing his outfit. He's wearing the mariner outfit, but then he's got like a captain's hat, like a perfectly crisp white captain's hat,
and a big bright orange PFD over.
His yachting hat.
They're like, Jablonski's in the lead. Wait, who? Somebody's coming up behind. It's Kevin Costner as the mariner. In our parody, he's like the marinara or whatever.
It's Tony Danza in the Waterworld parody as the marinara. Water Ice World.
Water Ice World.
Yeah, Water Ice World.
Hey, you want a tiger's blood or whatever?
Yeah. We're going to Rita's.
We're going to Rita's. Okay, I'll take 2 blue raspberry and a tiger's blood, all right?
The polar ice caps went away because they were like harvested for like ice to use in Rita's water ice. This little like fort in the middle of the ocean, that was like the thing that broke the bank because they had to like rotate the set like, between shoots and stuff.
That's huge. Costner's like, as long as this doesn't come out of my contract. He's like, everyone's like, man, Costner, I mean, I gotta say, I think the Mariner looks cool.
Yeah, it's an icon. It's an iconic look. And again, like, anybody who like wasn't born yet when this movie comes out, like, there's no reason you have to tell them it's a bomb. Like, it's like if you were there, you get that it was a bomb. But otherwise, it's just another movie. Like, you could love it or hate it or whatever, but it's just another movie. Like, and for all you like all those memes of like, I'm telling my kids that this is that.
Oh yeah.
Like, Costner as the Mariner could be like
a smash,
some smash, iconic movie.
I remember for my birthday one year, I had my friends over, we ordered pizza, and I had rented I screened Waterworld.
Yeah. Well,
it was a blast.
I mean, another one like that is like Hook. Like, Hook was like a box office disappointment and stuff, but, nobody cares. It's great.
I saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
And I had no clue.
Yeah, like, if you were, if you're a boomer, like, if you were a grown-up when Hook came out, in the theater, it's like, okay, no thanks, PU. But everybody else, like those right now are basically like the oldest people on earth right now is that generation. There's nobody like older than that generation. So everybody else on planet Earth is like, oh, hey, cool, it's Robin Williams as Peter Pan. That's awesome.
Yeah, even when I was like seeing it for the first time in the theater, I was like, I didn't really know Robin Williams, but I was like, I think this is a spirited casting of him as Peter Pan.
Like, when you were a kid, like, you weren't aware that, like, oh, this movie's supposed to... I heard this movie stinks, as you're watching. Nope. You're like, no, you're into it. Yeah, like, for me, that was, like, Krull. Like, I mean, I only saw Krull on VHS. I never saw it in the theater. But it's like, wow, they made a movie just for me. And it's like, I had the board game and stuff, and you know.
Remember, yeah,
had
top
it for
billing,
the Atari.
the Glaive.
Yeah, the Glaive. The Glaive's agent is playing hardball.
Got fucked over by the Glaive.
Yeah, like how come the Glaive didn't show up in other movies? Like the Glaive was kind of a star.
It shows
Why
Danny
did it have to go
Glover
down vision?
and the Glaive are back to back. Like, the Glaive has a big fucking like Swayze haircut.
Yeah.
It's like...
So yeah, this episode was just what the doctor ordered. We'll see you later.
Have a good night.